Hi there. Nice meeting you. I'm Marina Ciavatta. I'm from Brazil, and I am very thankful and I'm pleased to be here. I'm very thankful for CIA Con for inviting me to be here. It's really nice to be in this conference. It's extra nice because the schedule involves a lot of speakers that I know of or admire or are even my friends. Or my also people who are from Brazil as well. So that's very nice to see the presence going around. So I would like to take the time to thank CIA for the invitation. And that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna give any spoilers of who I am right now. We can learn that in a little bit. We have a dedicated slide just for introductions. So if you wouldn't mind, I would like to start the talk. So here we have my talk, Tropical Spy, Tricks and Stories from a Brazilian Social Engineer, which, it's me. All right, so let me settle the configurations here and let's go to my next slide. Well, who am I? So I'm Marina Ciavatta. I have my first degree in journalism. So I come from not a technical background. I come from a humanities background. And therefore I started as a events organizer. So I started actually producing content for a content-focused, infosec company. And there I turned myself into an events organizer where I organized the biggest hacking conference in Latin America. And then I became a community manager, learning how to deal with people and learning a lot about, who was into the hacking community back in Brazil and also worldwide, and what were they doing, what were their passions. And in this process, of course, I fell in love with hacking. So I was watching from a distance at that point, but I was still extremely involved with the community and already extremely passionate about the hacking itself. From there, I was also a volunteer leader of the volunteer program from this huge hacking event, and I have trained around 1,500 people in that program. Around that, I guess. And from that, I fell into social engineering. It was actually quite an accident. I had this friend working with some social engineering software, and he needed help with a client for a physical pen test. And there I was, and I was really good with people, according to him, and that therefore he came to me for help. And that's when I first delivered my a physical pen test, which was pretty exciting. For those who don't know what physical pen test is literally break and enter and steal information and steal documents. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about social engineering as we go here. But stay with me because social engineering applied into physical pen testing is quite exciting. And that's what I do. And because of that, I finally got to call myself a hacker, I think, a hacker. Actually a human hacker because of social engineering. And from there, I went to being an awareness instructor. So nowadays, I teach people how to be more secure. I teach people, best practices and what to do and what not to do and how they can protect themselves against social engineering and all kinds of attacks. And I'm also a content producer, so I'm all over social media, whatever social media you might use, making training, putting out trainings or talking about social engineering or giving people tips and teaching tricks and all of that. And well, that all of that led me to being the head of my own company, Hacker Inc. It is a marketing, communications, events, and trainings agency focused on social engineering, focused on InfoSec, on cybersecurity. So social engineering is one of the things that we do there. But we talk about security. We know talking about security is a hassle, is a struggle, is a nightmare. Not only for the marketing people, but for InfoSec people as well. It's not something that they do very well, the mix of those skills, of the communications skills with InfoSec. So that's kind of what I do, and that's why I founded my own company. So that's pretty much all I have to say about me. And I left here a little bit of the Hacker Manifesto. For those who don't know the Hacker Manifesto, I really, really strongly advise you to go search for it. It's worth it. It's the mentor wrote it in 1986. It is like a way bigger piece than this, but I just got the little bit of it that inspires me, that once I took, one gander at it, I was just hooked, and it talked volumes to me about what hacking is, about, even human hacking or social engineering, all of its meaning for myself. So the bit is that my crime is that of curiosity. My crime is judging people by what they say and think, not what they look like. My crime is that of outsmarting you, something that you will never forgive me for. So I think this speaks clearly with with social engineers. I do believe this is the mindset to have. And so moving forward, I have here a bunch of cute little Brazilian animals, because what I'm going to teach you here, what I'm going to talk about here about my physical pen testing and about my social engineering attacks are going to, come as a little bit scary. And people tend to be quite scared. And at the end, they're like, oh my God, I'm never going to talk to you again. I don't know what kind of creature you are. So remember this cute little Brazilian animals inside. I'm just like them. I'm fluffy. I'm cute. I'm loving and I'm friendly. So please remember the cute little Brazilian animals when we reach the end of our road here on our talk. All right. So shall we begin? So social engineering. Social engineering, for those who don't know, it's about human hacking. It is about the human error. So looking for the human error, the human vulnerability. So people are a combination of behaviors and patterns inside a system. So inside the society that we live in, or the community that we live in, the culture and all, and as a combination of behaviors and patterns inside the system, we respond to commands. Therefore, we have our own vulnerabilities, kind of like machines. So social engineering reaches to, behavior manipulation techniques through psychology and sociology and behavior analysis to explore the human vulnerabilities and flaws. Getting restricted as, then that may get the social engineer to have access to restricted areas or extract information, and so forth. So, the social engineer is going to find that opportunity once someone makes a mistake, or they are the ones that are going to cause the person to make that mistake without even realizing. So that's going to give them access. That's going to give them, the piece of information they're after. And I have like a few, quick examples of social engineering here, just like phishing that we know a lot about already, tailgating, some techniques that social engineers use, so shoulder surfing, or even spear phishing or whalings as derivatives of the phishing, and pretexting, baiting, and a lot of that. So I'm gonna kind of focus here on what I do as a physical pen tester. The techniques that I usually use on my physical pen tests. But there is like this whole other world of social engineering that I also tackle here at this little image. I mean, not even near, but represented by this little image. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the physical pen test, social engineering techniques that I usually use. So, attack techniques. So to conquer access, I have this kind of attacks on me whenever I am breaking and entering a company. So I use tailgating a lot because, that's the basics of the basics. If you don't know what tailgating is, I mean, whenever someone is opening a door and going through the door and they leave the door open behind, or they even hold the door for you, that's tailgating. So you're going after someone. You're taking advantage of their access and going for that access too. And I do that a lot. Once my mission was to sit at the president's chair, the company's president chair, coming straight from the street. Oh, and that's also very important. Like everything that I'm talking about here, the break and entering, the physical pen tests, this is all under contract. So for those who are not familiarized with what a physical pen test is, this is a hired service. So the company is in agreement with what I'm doing. Actually, the company is giving missions to me. So I do have my contract of service. I do have a non-disclosure agreement. And I have, all the correct papers to go and break into this company. And of course, just, friendly reminder that this is not one company hiring me to, break into another company. That would be corporate espionage, and that's illegal. That can land you in jail. What I do is I get hired to break in and go through the company that actually hired me. So, it's a service inside their own house. So yeah, the tailgating mission, the tailgating attack that I used in one of those missions. So one of those missions was to go through all the company and to actually go and sit in the president's chair, the CEO's chair. Being a complete stranger and having no kind of access and knowing, barely nothing about the company itself. So it was just a building, it was a fence building with security guards and kind of like a very normal commercial business building. And from the street to inside of the garage, the parking lot, it was just tailgating because I just waited for an employee to go through the main gate, and there were no sophisticated access point there. It was just a gate that they would badge in and come in through the gate. So I just kind of tailgated a person, pretending I was in a hurry. I had my fake badge on me, so not raise any kind of alerts on that point. I will talk about fake badges in a little bit. But so from the street to the parking lot, one tailgate, and then from the parking lot to the service kind of, hallway, they had, right next to the building that I was able to find out using Google Maps. It was another gate that people would badge in and just go in there, and they would have access to the service entries, hallway kind of thing. And then once again, I just waited for someone to go there and badge in and go through the gate, and I just tailgated them. And once I was in this hallway, I had access to, the service stairs, the emergency stairs. I think that's how they are called. But anyway, I went all the way up to the upper floor where the president's room was, where the president would have his own room there. And once again, from the service, the emergency stairs to inside of the floor, there was another door that people would badge in. And I know, I know as a matter of fact that people use stairs. They either want some privacy to make a call, or they want, I don't know, cry in the middle of their working hours, or they just want to go, and take the stairs down to exercise a bit. Whatever reason, people use stairs. So it was just a matter of time till someone opened the door. And I was just pretending to be, making a call there or whatever. And then I tailgated, inside the floor. And from there, it was pretty easy to find the president's room. There were no heavy guarding there. I just sit at the chair and took a nice picture and sent it to the client, mission accomplished. That whole thing took me like maybe 15, 20 minutes tops. I swear, from the street as a complete stranger to sitting on the president's chair, it was 20 minutes tops. It was super fast. And I only used tailgating. So yeah, tailgating works. Services entries are stairs, just as I just said, they're very useful for a physical penetration because they usually have almost no one, looking at it. They barely have, security cameras. So there's a huge flow of unknown people going in and out all the time on those service entries. And those are like invisible people, people that no one that's in a hurry or is important or whatever pay attention to. So this is perfect for, just going in unnoticed or just, running around unnoticed. Technical visits data. So back in Brazil, we have this thing where you can visit the client beforehand. You can visit the client before your actual, physical pen test day. And when you do that, it depends on the client. It depends on what the client wants or what the missions are. Sometimes the technical visits don't happen at all. But some clients, they want you to be aware of something inside the company already, or have, already a head start or whatever, and they want you to get to know the site of your invasion. And we call that a technical visit. We call that, kind of like scouting with the client. And the data back in Brazil, this data is like registered on their receptions, So if you go back and you just give your name or maybe a document or something, you might get in, which is kind of a critical, a critical flaw there for me, because you can be someone that should not be coming back. You can be, an insider threat. You can be all kinds of stuff. So the right way of doing it is to validate everyone all the time, because unless they have already, a badge or something that says they're cool to go in and out however they want, whenever they want, people should be validated all the time. And once they're in, there must be someone walking with them, making a physical presence there, and guiding unknown people inside a company, because you don't know who that person is. You don't know if what they're telling you is the actual truth. And even if it was, you don't know, what could they possibly do, even by accident. So it is very important to always accompany, be together or guide someone that is unknown inside a corporation. The fake reception email. So, when you go into the reception area, the lobby or whatever they are, usually you can just tell them a sad story. Like, oh my God, I'm like late for this meeting and the person is waiting for me, and there should be an email for you there, just, letting you know that I'm here and I need to go in. The person, obviously, at the reception, is just looking at her email and or his email, or their at their email, and just like, I don't have anything about you here. Like, there is no email about you here. And then you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. The person forgot or whatever. Can you just let me know the reception email, and I'll be sure to call them and make them, resend the email or whatever they have to, just to be sure they're going to do it right this time. They're not going to, make a mistake and not have the reception email. And most of the reception people do give the reception email, or even better, they have it like in the open. They have it somewhere public. They have like on their website maybe. So what you do is you go back to a dark corner, and you just create. You have to register a fake Gmail account, for example, and from there, it's pretty easy. Just name of a person dot name of the company at gmail.com, for example. Grab a picture of someone through, the Instagram check-in or social media check-in to see whoever was checking in the company or not, or just grab like a random picture from the internet. Go for the logo of the company. So you go for logo of the company.png on the Google image search and add that to your signature, just, to give a little bit more of credibility to that fake email. And you send the fake email as if it were from a person inside a company, just, letting you get in the company as an outside person. So the reception will get that email, and you go back to the reception. Making a fake email at Gmail takes like 5 to 10 minutes. And you go back to reception, and then you can like ask again, is the email there already? And, after a few quick minutes, they're probably going to get the fake email, letting you in, which yourself send it to them and you're good to go. That happened to me like more than I can count already. I used that a lot of times already. This happens because people at the reception don't usually get training, don't usually get security training, first and foremost. I forgot the expression. So they don't know how to recognize that is not an official email. They don't actually pay attention. They are not trained to pay attention. So that is something that you can, a social engineer can take advantage of. The fake badges. So if you know anything about social engineering, you probably have already heard stories of people, making fake badges and getting into places. This is not something new, but it still works very, very good. You can find fake badges pictures all over. You can find the actual badges pictures all over the internet. People love to post their badges, even giving you your their geolocation by checking in, when they post their picture, and then you can just swipe a bunch of those badges pictures, and you can do your own fake badge. And that helps a lot, build that helps you build your credibility, and have, a fake badge on your chest is pretty helpful most of the times, because, people tend to trust you. So I left OSINT here. So OSINT is very, 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 very important for any social engineer ever doing anything you can imagine. So you gotta know what people are liking, not liking, what they are posting, not posting. You gotta know if they have their own data leaked somewhere, or if they have it just on display on their social medias, easy to grab, easy to see, easy to collect. So you can build, your case, and you can build, you can actually do your homework and know your targets. So OSINT is very, very important here. I'm not going to talk about OSINT too much. I try not to talk about it too much. So a good access technique is you create some kind of conflict, create some kind of problem, and as soon as you can, just solve it, like almost as if almost immediately. Actually, it's like you come with this problem, this is bad, this is happening, and I don't know what to do, and oh my God, and we have this situation, and you just turn around, but you know what, I'm gonna take care of that. You know what, if you help me do this, we can. This is not going to be a problem anymore. It's like 5 minutes. I'm just going to go there real quick and I will solve this, and I'm going to come back. Don't worry at all. So if you create a conflict and you give the problem a solving real fast, then the people kind of like creates a faster rapport with you, or just, bring their guard down. Or just comply with what you're saying, because they also want to solve the problem real quick. So this is a very good attack technique for access, just as I gave the example of the fake email for the reception. Improv skills are very, very, very important too for physical pen testers, at least for me, because back in Brazil, things are hectic. Services don't actually work. People are late. You have a bunch of stuff that you couldn't predict even doing your homework. And you gotta be quick on your feet. You really have to see an opportunity, opportunity, and take advantage of that, and go for it. Or you have to have the right calls about what's too risky to do, what's what can it burn your bridges too soon. So you really have to have this knack in you to have fast responses, and that's kind of something that's hard to teach. So if you don't have that already in you, or if you don't want to develop that kind of skill, that behavior skill, or the social skill, that's going to be a struggle for you to do a pen test. So another attack technique that I have for access is just simply asking, and that's very funny because people are completely oblivious about security. Sometimes they just completely ignore protocols, and they're too trustworthy, or whatever the reason is. That if you find someone like that and you just ask, they're literally gonna give you their password, or gonna give you access, or gonna open the door for you. So simply asking. For a few targets, it's all that you need to get that information, or to get into whatever you need to be. And another one that I really like to use is knocking at people's doors. Even like, for example, once I did this in a security monitoring room. The security camera rooms, the security cameras room, where they have like where they had all the monitors around. So I just literally knocked at the door, and it was like this heavy iron door. I knocked it there, and I asked if someone called IT. And everyone, everywhere in the entire world, called IT. If, the air conditioner is not working right, or the internet is too slow, or any kind of problems you can imagine, people will call IT. And that's why you will almost always get into places if you say, if you ask if someone called IT. And, it just personifies, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. And it just personifies the IT person. And then you're in. And then you can even, go all through the hardware there, go all through the equipments, and even, put some bad USB there and have your fun. Which is what I have done in this case. All right, so my stealing techniques. So for information extraction, I go a lot for meeting rooms. Meeting rooms give you credibility. So if you're inside a meeting room, you're probably someone important. So it's harder for people to go question you or to have you as a suspect or anything. And it's even more likely to people give you information if you call them into a meeting room, if you're like have a meeting room. And meeting rooms are pretty easy to get into because they are most likely unlocked, or even better, they have like the entire schedule on the door. So you know when the room is going to be empty, when the room is going to be available for you to get in there, sit tight and pretend to be a manager or pretend to be someone from another branch, someone important, or, even a person from support collecting feedback, which is one of the things that I have already done for, extracting information from the help desk department. I would call them one by one and offer them to give me feedback on the internal tool that they were using, and they would just pour their hearts out about the internal system, giving me enough information to, build up into each one of them and gain trust, and, eventually getting into inside the actual internal system. So common areas are also really good for information extraction because people talk at common areas. People do very important calls at common areas. Once I even walked into a product launch meeting from a very, very, very important company. So it was like a very huge product they were launching. And for some reason, they were having their launching meeting in the common area, and like in the TV, in the common area, they had like all of the project's details in there, the code, all the marketing strategy, all in there in the TV in the common area. And I was just like recording it all without even trying to disguise myself, because it was a common area. You should not do that stuff in common areas. So document cabinets, I open those a lot. People don't lock document cabinets for some reason, or if they do, they leave the key there, or if they don't leave the key there, they hang the key like right next to it, or put it on like a jar on their own table, which is also really, really, really easy to find. So I don't understand why people have file cabinets or document cabinets if they're going to be wide open for anyone to access. It's like, why are you putting them away then? They're not important, clearly. Unlocked rooms, same things. A bunch of file rooms or document rooms or even, server rooms, completely unlocked. I will find those rooms. I will enter those rooms. I will steal everything from these rooms. That's what I do. That's what I'm paid to do. Unlocked devices. I am not even gonna drag myself into this because, we're probably all very, very, very tired of talking about unlocked devices. I do tell people back in Brazil to just troll their friends whenever you see that their devices unlocked, because at this point in time, come on, we gotta, turn your screen 360 now, but we gotta turn your screen 180 degrees. We gotta do something, to laugh, because it's just stop leaving your unlocked devices behind. I'm gonna find your phone. I'm gonna find your computer. I'm gonna, install every kind of crazy things you can imagine in your machine. I'm gonna steal, important emails from it. I'm gonna send crazy emails to a bunch of your contacts, or I can do anything with an unlocked device. And I see even, personal phones left behind unlocked in the tables, and I'm like, oh my God. Whew. So uniforms and accessories left behind. I also steal a bunch of that. So whenever I find any kind of work accessory, like the hard hat or ear protections or glass, or the glasses, protective glasses, glassware, whatever. My English is not that good, y'all. Or any kind of uniforms left behind, even a jacket, a company jacket with the logo left behind. I steal all of that so I can, dress myself as someone from the company itself. So once I was like done with this customer, and it was like a huge campus, and they had a lot of people who wore a lot of different uniforms. And at the end of the day, I had like, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 different uniforms, counting from the lab uniform and the maintenance uniform and the cleaning crew uniform, and all kinds of uniforms and accessories you can imagine. So I have like this video that I sent to the client of me emptying my bag, just bouncing my bag and stuff falling from him, like for all this stuff from their uniforms and all. That was quite fun. Fishing and smishing. So of course, the basic tools from a social engineer. I use that a lot as well. I sometimes, coordinate a phishing with one of my physical pen tests, or maybe a call. I also do phishing or a phishing while I'm on site, because sometimes that can help me, get into somewhere or talk to someone that I need to talk to. So, you have it on the go. For example, the fake email that I would send, the reception. And bad USB. You always have a bad USB with you. You can have all kinds of technical equipments with you, antennas and all of that, to have your fun and sniffing networks and all crazy stuff that you can do once you're inside a company. But the bad USB is kind of a always go to, even if you can't take much with you. It's easy to carry. And if you don't know what a bad USB attack is, you just have yourself a USB drive infected with malware or any payloads or any kind of programs that you think it's useful. And you carry that around with you, to infect the company's systems, just to, show them that you've been there, you plugged something malicious into their computers. They're not going to do anything bad with it. You're just going to put that in your report. And that's it. So manipulation techniques, I'm trying to go as fast as I can, I swear. Manipulations techniques. So finding or causing human error. So I know the manipulation sounds really bad. The word manipulation sounds really bad, but it's kind of what a social engineer has to do. So we have to find, some people's behavioral patterns, and we have to learn how to tickle them in the right way. We have to learn how to make them respond to us in a certain manner. That we can, either find where they are making a mistake or make them make a mistake, on purpose, like influence them to it. So you got to build rapport with your target. And that's, there is a bunch of techniques that you can, have for that. It goes with your pretexting. I don't know what kind of, character you're playing there on your physical pen test. So it depends on, on your character, but rapport is really, really important. It's how you guarantee not only you will have an opening for landing an attack, but you also gonna be able to leave and to go away and not leave any trace behind. Divide and conquer is really good because it's easier to attack people who are left by themselves for any kind of reasons. It's easier to have one target than multiple targets because you raise less flags that you're trying to land an attack. So I often use the lunchtime for going after what I need, because there are like just a few people left behind doing overworking, or it's just like the intern, poor intern. Or I tend to go for after hours as well. Not only the company may be completely empty, but it can also be, just a few people there, just a few key people there that you need to go for. So it's beneficial for you to divide it and conquer sometimes. Depends on your target, depends on your mission. So you gotta always build credibility. That's very important if you want to have trust bonds with your targets. If you want to develop your report, you gotta build credibility. So you gotta speak the same language. You gotta listen to how people speak inside a company. What kind of terms are they using? What are they saying about the products they're they're having contact with? You gotta learn their lingo, and you can do that by reconnaissance. Doing your homework, by going through social media, or just standing in the lobby and, listening to people for a while, just sitting somewhere and observing. You got to be able to study your targets. You can't just, go wild. You can. It's just not very responsible of you for doing that. And, asking for help is always kind of a go-to. It's an easy go-to because people want to help. So if you play a trainee, like myself, I'm a small little innocent looking girl. I can be very, sweet, and, people want to help me because I look like a trainee. I look like I'm lost. I look like I need help. Or you can ask for feedback. For example, at the one attack that I told you, that I was inside this meeting room and having, those feedback meetings with everyone. So they would give me a lot of information. So as I said, you gotta be able to spot the opportunity here. Someone that's not feeling 100% that day, or they look tired, or they look super excited over a project, or they're running around, or they're bored. You gotta be able to spot that. And you gotta be always, whenever it's possible, like as a general rule, try to always leave good impressions behind you. Because if you leave people feeling better for having met you, they will be way less suspicious. They will have almost no suspicion at all, if not at all, that you were in any way malicious, that you took anything from them, that you stole from them. So you gotta always leave a good impression behind. I say this because a lot of people ask me like, oh my God, you're a social engineer. People must be so afraid of you. You must be so easy if you want to, ask people money or threat them so they can pay you or whatever. Like, no, you kind of don't want to do that. If you put people too much on a spotlight, if you pressure them, if you make them feel, fear or anger, that's not very good, because that can backfire real quick. They're going to be hard to predict. It's not what you want. You want predictable human beings to fit, into a system, so you can find your ways to hack them. So yeah, I'll always leave good impressions behind you. This time, for example, I broke into a company, and sysadmin, logged into my own machine, and I told a very sad story, but he was so sweet, even though he logged into my machine with his own user admin on the internal system. But anyway, I treated him very kindly, and we, had a lot of, we chat a lot while he was helping me. And, I left, and we met again at the end of the day, and he was like, hey, how you doing? Were you able to solve your problem? I was like, yes, thank you so much. You just saved my day. So he met me again, and that was in a very dangerous position because I was already at the end of the day. So I was going a little bit wild there, because it wouldn't matter if I was going to get caught at that point. So I was like running around and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And even then he found me again, and he thanked me, and he remembered me as a positive thing. So that's good. You don't, leave no bad traces behind. So yeah, I know this all can be very scary. I know people, get really apprehensive after I say all these bad things about the attacks and social engineering and physical pen testing and manipulation and all that. Can be overwhelming. So people often think, I don't stand a chance against someone like you. You are like trained to get me. You were trained to come and find me and, and take advantage of me. And I'm like, yeah, I am. But you can also train yourself to not be taken advantage of. That's something that can go both ways. It's something that should go both ways because you're that important. So you deserve security. So you always got to be suspicious or cautious. I mean, we forget that a lot. And for some reason, we connected those words to something negative, to losing hope on humanity or whatever. No, this is good. Being suspicious or cautious makes us look better into things, makes us go and search for better resources, and it's a survival instinct. So you gotta be suspicious. You gotta be cautious as a natural response. Before being all trustworthy, people have to deserve your vouch of trust. So if you see anything weird, report always. Always, 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 always. It is very important. Anytime you suffer with something, you talk about it. You let other people know, because then they can also recognize those bad things, and they can protect themselves. So if you spread that knowledge, if you spread your concern, more people will be more careful, and that's really good. If you want to stop an attack, you should report it. That's like the main thing. That's the most important thing. And you gotta communicate. You got to talk about it. Communication is very, very important for security. And I am talking out to all of y'all, like all of us. We have to communicate better about security. We have to teach people about security. We have to teach our grandma's security or our parents' security. We got to, be those kind of people, because if we don't, they will still be oblivious. We're not doing any kind of good, being bad at communicating why security is important. And then I go to awareness. So awareness is not only important for companies, awareness campaigns and all that. They should be part of our day-to-day lives. They should be part of our education, because security is part of our lives. Everything we do has to do with security. I mean, locking your door behind you when you leave your house, or thinking twice when going into a relationship because you remember bad stuff that happened in past relationships, recognizing behavior patterns, recognizing threats. That's very important in our lives, and that's all about security. Setting our own boundaries, reviewing things that we have contact with, reviewing information that we heard about. It's all about security. So we have to kind of detach security a little bit of, this technical point of view all the time. And remember, security is a very wide concept that goes through all of the little aspects of our lives. And that's extremely important. We cannot forget that. We cannot lose touch with that. And well, with that, I finish my talk. So thank you all very much. I hope I didn't go overboard. I forgot to put my timer here when I started. But anyway, if you want to know a little bit more about me, if you want to chat with me, if you want to get to know my work, you can go and find me on my social media profiles. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is my main profile, but you can also find me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere you want as Marina Ciavatta or at Marina Ciavatta. I have kind of the same handle everywhere. And that's pretty much it. Please come and tell me if you liked my talk, or, let me know that you're there, and we can chat and we can, trade experiences. And I'm very grateful for being here, and thank you all for the opportunity. And that's it. I hope you have enjoyed the talk. Bye. Nice to meet you.